Hey there, Tyler Bryden. I hope everything is going well. I'm coming to the end of this Burning Man 2022 series. It's been a lot of videos. Apologize if you do not care about this. I've been purposely not hitting the send out like subscription notifications on a bunch of these, just because I don't want to inundate you too much. But if you're interested, or if someone's searching for these type of things specifically around Burning Man, I hope you find them. I hope you enjoy the video. I talked a little bit about the weather. I talked about the Exodus. I talked about my personal experience at Burning Man. I talked about the music. In this video, I'm going to talk about the art. I could almost say this is camps and art. I've sort of intermingled them together, and then I've also even got some art cars in here. So it's a lot of different sort of things, but I'm classifying them all as art for the sanity of myself and hopefully the sanity of you as a viewer here on Tyler Bryden's channel. Tyler Bryden being me on YouTube. So what I've got a couple videos, and then I've got a couple images. Actually, I've got more than a couple images. I don't know exactly what order they're in. I don't know exactly which way they're going to come, but they should be fun, and they'll give a little context, some insights. Hopefully, a bunch of these images are pretty stunning, taken by myself or people in my camp, mostly people in my camp, because they are much better photographers and videographers than me. Let's start, I think, just to kick this off, and I hope I don't, blow your ears out right away, with one of my favorite exhibits. I mean, that's a pretty incredible way to start. You can see the name here. So this was, now it was I believe the I Love Elephants camp, and they basically had this incredible geometric dome, and it was playing on loop, sort of these just beautiful animated videos. And because it took up such a large scope of your vision, it was very, inundating, very overwhelming in a positive way. It just sort of took you over. And this was for me a very late night after a lot of fun, and I was making my way back, and I had tried to come to this camp several times to see the show, because I'm a huge fan of Android Jones. And if you don't know Android Jones, I'll actually put a link in here, but just sort of this multi-medium artist, a lot of experience with psychedelics, and then blends that into the world of art that he's making. And just incredible. So there was videos like this that were always on loop, and then there was, I believe, Samsara was more of the storytelling sort of version of this that had won multiple awards. And I know some people in our camp saw that and sort of explained sort of the 14 sort of stories in Hinduism. And so not only were they just exquisite from an eye and auditory perspective, they had beautiful and stories embedded in them. And this was, to me, one of the peak sort of experiences that I had. And from my my experience here at Burning Man, other people felt the same way. There was people just going or just sort of, I would say, orgasming on the pleasure of this Burning Man and all the maybe fun substances that were involved. So that was a really beautiful experience, one that I'm so glad I had two rides to go check this out, that nothing came of it because it wasn't ready yet, and there was a lot of problems with weather and everything, and getting it together, but I'm very glad that it did. I'll pull up one more just so you can see. A little scarier. Wow. Well, I'm sorry for scaring you. That scared me in the moment at Burning Man. It scared me again here now. So that you can get a little bit of feeling, and especially at that scale, there and then just the huge sound system and then the visual sort of perspective of it, it really takes over your emotions, really has an impact on you. So sorry for that, for scaring you, but also you can see the beauty and incredible art of it. I would also say I see sort of, to me at least, the psychedelic influence and maybe even the DMT perspective with these sort of geometric snakes and everything. So would love to hear your thoughts and perspective on that as I move on to another great piece. So nothing too, I guess I wouldn't say this one was, too crazy, but just this is sort of another idea of, what you can sort of come across at Burning Man, which are just like intentional pieces put everywhere. And in this case, this was very early in the week. I believe you can actually still see some building going on, which this turned into a beautiful structure. I won't want to be 100% sure, but I maybe believe the temple behind it, and then another laying down statue that really got a lot of attention. But this was one of those little pieces that maybe seems small, but they wheeled this throughout Burning Man, and here's Fatzel here having a great time. I think he got a smile on his face a smile on his face at the end of that. Just one of those little moments of magic where none of us knew each other, and then all of a sudden we're all jamming together, making music. People are going by, listening, and that's a beautiful part of the art at Burning Man. So just a little piece there. I'll continue on the journey of videos as we come into a couple other amazing ones. So this is at the end of that. I'll just pull up a screenshot. And, we affectionately, you can see in the title here, refer to this as the Hippie Trap, because in 2019, we sort of were on a mission and got caught under this and, ended up there for 45 minutes. I believe this was Fatzel and I here, and we actually made a return later in the week and had an incredible time. I know there is, I should know all the names and everything for it. I apologize. I have seen it on Instagram, but I hope someone can, if you're interested in this, can find this. And basically, a lot of people are laying on the ground looking up. They've really improved the sort of graphics that are being displayed, and they sort of tie the music and storytelling together for this beautiful experience. And you can sort of hear the music, going around in the background. What I loved about this was it was almost like a peaceful moment where you could detach from that and almost meditate and just ingest this wonderful sort of classical, almost timeless, intentional piece of art. And to me, this is one of the sort of pinnacles. And when I think of Burning Man, both now in 2019 and then 2022, we sort of had this amazing experience with a song as a group. I think I've shared in another video that this is, to me, what Burning Man is about, and I'm very glad to have that experience. And then see a video captured that I think this was me, most likely by my horrible, nighttime quality, and then sort of bad timing of it. But I'll persevere on, continue with a couple more videos here, this was, I think, one of the more fun ones. So as you can see, basically these bears, and they were inflatable and then pinned down really hard, but you could really come with them at some force. And so I don't think I was here in this video. This is someone on our, on our camp here, but it was lucky enough to go have some fun with them later. And if you hit them, they would fly back. And so people would, jump on this and then get tossed off. And lots of people come in with big force, thinking that they were going to destroy these little bears. And that's not quite what happened. I also saw a funny image of a guy showed up. He had honey, and he was walking around with honey, and then showed up at this art sort of unexpectedly, and sort of this idea of synchronicity. This one was, I think, one of the more fun, gave a lot of people joy, and there's also people sort of at the same time hitting the bears to, you know, make them then hit each other and bounce off each other. And so I had a lot of fun with this one, and I know that I could just see the joy on people when they realized what was capable with that again, art exhibit. And when we think of art, maybe that's not exactly what you think of, but for me, this is you know, that's art, and that's the beautiful part of Burning Man, is our sort of definition of it is different, and our experience of it is different, and you know, art should be fun, it can be fun, and I'm very glad that there's things like that here. So I have a couple, one last video, I have a couple versions of it, so I'm not exactly sure which one I'm going to show. I'm going to pop this one open, see. I mean, so if this isn't wild enough for you, I don't know what is. This is, you know, the famous Thunderdome, and this is where I was sort of talking about the blend of camp and art here. You know, most people would just classify this as a camp, but whatever, I threw it in art. It's art to me. The music is playing. They played some amazing songs. Had a wonderful sort of opera performance, like right before some of the fights. And this is sort of a staple at Burning Man. I'll click out for a second, and then I'll show a video of an actual fight at Burning Man. So that's one video, and I think I got one more to show for you here. And there you go. That is Thunderdome. Again, some would say that's not art, Tyler. I would say yes, it is. It is to me. You can see all the people sort of climbing on top. I'll just pull up that reference image again, and just a couple last summary insights on that. Like, you know, you can see obviously all the people up here. The energy is incredibly intense, and although it's, you know, there's sort of this aggression, it's all fun. Maybe people aren't treating it all as fun, but it felt like this, you know, this Mad Max fight scene. You could feel the energy, but there was also a lot of love and fun in it. And we even had one person in our camp actually fight. I didn't get to see that, but would have loved to. I'm sure he did a great job. I heard you get paired with just random people, and in that case, we had a big boy paired with a very small boy, and I think big boy won that battle. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to now switch to screen sharing the whole time. I'm doing my slideshow here now, and got some wonderful images again that I've captured, and my good friends at Camp Majestic have captured here. This is a picture of Nick with the angel wings, another art exhibit. Looks relatively out, I guess maybe not too deep in the playa, not too deep in the desert. You can see some of the sound camps and stuff in the back, but just a striking image, and it would also do different colors, and with those different colors, it'd be red and blue, and it would be really striking visually. So glad old Nikki T got an image of that, and I thought that was a great one, although I did not see it myself. This is one of the, I just saw the name of it. I called it the bird nest. I don't think that's probably exactly what it's called, but it did have a name around that atrium or something. This is me walking towards it, so that means that Fatzel took this picture. You could climb, and what's amazing about Burning Man is that a lot of the exhibits are climbable. So whether you take that risk or not, you can go up there. This one, you could go up one layer and then up even higher. The up higher was pretty wild because you'd be stepping on little wood platters, and it was both seems incredibly dangerous, but then also perfectly intuitive of like where your foot would be and where your hand would be. And then if you've watched any other videos, I was deep into the binocular game with this at a midpoint, and shared some wonderful binocular experiences with people there. So this is the actual, just finalized, one of my favorite pieces, and I don't know if I have a video of it at night, but or an image of it at night. Very cool, very, very cool. I really enjoyed that one. Here is a picture of the actual man. For anyone who, most likely you've seen an image of the man by this point if you've been following any of this. But this was a beautiful one this year. Solar sort of powered, as they've, Burning Man has intentionally, discovered their carbon footprint on the world and then tried to make, changes for it. Now there was still fire, or was still fireworks, and obviously still lots of sort of critique about where Burning Man is at in this, but overall, thought this was a beautiful piece this year. Fatzel had got to talk to one of the creators of it, and there was a lot of sort of hidden gems around it. And some people say it wasn't as tall or big this year. I never really cared about this. It was still very visible. And the actual final piece, the Burning Man, the fireworks. Here we go. Amazing. The explosion, the fireworks. All of this at once was just spectacular, and I still almost barely could process how quickly the explosion happened, how hot it was, how big it was. I'm glad there were some images captured of it, because it was just stunning and 100% worthwhile. And one of the comments made was like, you spend money on tickets. I think we got Tasia barking in the back here. This is where some of the money goes. Like this is a huge installation. This is a lot of fireworks, and it was really, really worthwhile with 80,000 people gathered around it, having a beautiful experience. So thank you for everyone who made that happen, and just another reason why people love Burning Man so much. This is. I'm already realizing I'm at 15 minutes. My personal experience video was 30 minutes. It looks like it's a couple images to click through. I'm trying to go both quickly and then also give it the grace that it deserves, because so many people put work into this. I don't believe this one is fully lighted in this case. I've got the butterfly wings art car. Almost maybe now that I'm looking at it is a dragonfly. That would actually make more sense. So I've labeled things improperly. I'm sorry. And this was a really stunning one, and you can see like almost all these big art cars have a sound system on top of them. You can see it there, speakers there, and then a DJ there. So I had just stopped and took this picture, and that's where I sort of talked about this blend between camps and art cars and then art exhibits, all blending together, and reason why I sort of aggregated this into one single video. So this is a continuation of a really popular exhibit in 2019. It's not the exact same, but it has some of the, I believe it's not the exact same, but it has some of the sort of feeling of it with like a couple, because I believe it's different sort of material and design, but it just was really, really striking in 2019 and had the same impact here in 2022. I can't see it in this, but lots of people gathering around this. And, from all the images I've seen from Burning Man, this was one of the most popular ones shared. I think, first of all, it's massive. It's hard to tell the scale in this image, just how big it is, although you do have some bikes for reference. But it just seems to hit and resonate when you're there. And so much about Burning Man is about love. And then, I also think about myself and, people as, we're maybe not full, we're maybe not complete. But then when we're together, there's, more than who we are individually. And I think that's a metaphor obviously for relationships, but then everyone is a community at Burning Man when we all come there intentionally. So we've got this dragon art car. This one I think I've labeled properly. People would not argue with me that this is a dragon. Amazing lights on these wings here. Probably, I'm guessing, I'm almost 100% sure, although I did not see it, Breeze Fire. Looks like there is a little mechanism in there. I'm sad I probably didn't see that, or if I didn't, what was I doing? Really, that's the question I have for myself. But another amazing art car, one that I had not seen, I believe, in 2019. So it seemed like there was a lot of new art cars there, which was amazing from someone who had gone. And I mean, you're never going to get tired of the experience, but then there's, these completely new, novel things. It's like, wow. And those are really sort of mind-blowing there. And a couple other pieces, Fatzel took this picture, just sort of these pillars, and it looks like there were sort of different words and arrows and shapes on them. Now, I did not see this, so I'm sad about that. I think I saw this from afar, but I just thought this was really stunning in the image of it, and you can see the sort of the play with the words, the shapes, the pillars, and then the color, and then all over this landscape, this flat landscape of the desert, which is obviously stunning. So here's one of, I think our camps, one of their favorite, and a lot of people felt this way. Natalie, a work of art in her own, but this was a beautiful, massive structure. You can see again for scale a little bit. Wonderful in the day, and even more beautiful at night. I don't think I have a night shot of it, but it was glowing. And this actually became a reference point for our final day when we watched the man burn. And so I have a lot of love because that's where our bikes were, and we found our way back. So a couple other ones. This was, I think this was called in Theo. And what I liked about Theo was, first of all, there was hammocks, and then there was these wonderful shape and structure. This was sort of along Esplanade. You can see the actual desert with the mountains in the back here. But then it was also a dope dance party. I sort of broke off from the group, and they were playing a little bit more sort of hip-hoppy kind of things. And I ended up dancing here by myself for a bit. So a lot of love for this. Again, mix of sort of art, camp, and then music all coming together. And this is Fatzel, his bike here. So he looks like he's taking a little break in the hammock along the way. There is Illumina. This was one of the better, I shouldn't say better. I don't know why I said that. Like sort of like more, I guess, official structure. I don't even know what I'm trying to get to here, but I think in the one picture we could even see that it was getting built in its full completion. Stunning. Illumina. Now, I don't know if that's, there's a company that we've come across that does wonderful art exhibits. I'm not sure if this is them, but it shares a very similar name. And this was stunning, different colors coming through. It was very well lit. At this point here, you can see this. I think it might have been a little bit still under construction. I believe in the end, there wasn't as much lighting on it, and it sort of stood its ground as a whole with the lighting. So just another great piece. And I've actually got the name for you here, although if I look at my spelling in the image, not good. So I'm already at 20 minutes. I apologize. I'm going to continue going and getting these because I think they are worthwhile, and I should not feel bad about talking slowly through these. These deserve the love that they get. Amazing sort of geometric sphere. And what's incredible about this, I think this was earlier in the week, but you could actually climb into this and then sit in the rope structure. And I know Fatzel got a chance to do this. I did not. I went at one point to see it, and there was looked about a 2-hour line. So I'm sad I didn't have that experience. I was on a hunt that night, and I didn't quite get all the things off my checklist. But, oh, man, beautiful during the day, beautiful at night with lights everywhere externally, but then lights you can see if you look in here internally as well, too. So just a couple... this one really stood out, just the size and the scale, and then the fact that you could go inside it. So congrats to that team. Really, really beautiful one. Here we've got Nikki T making a couple appearances in the video. I never saw this one, but I was glad that a couple people in the camp did. They got some wonderful images. I believe there was some color changes in this. And then, what I like about sort of these sort of, I don't even know what they call these sort of ropes. It's a horrible description of it, but that's what I'm going to go with. Light ropes sort of are pushing out towards the edge of the globe for even more spectacular. The globe in itself, wonderful. The light ropes, as I now deem them, even cooler. This was a light up floor here. You can see the Playa Alchemist in the background. This was amazing. I wish I had spent more time in there. I think there's one image of that coming up. You can see this person standing on the floor, and that was responsively then interacting with you. So if you stood on this, it would light up. So it would have sort of a sensor perspective of it. I did see some images being shared of a video. Images and videos being shared of a concert that was put right around this. So people were dancing on the dance floor and it was lighting up. And I spent some time walking through this, and I think there's a couple of people at our camp here. Yes, it is Brendan, Steph, not in our camp, but very cool, sir. Very cool. Sort of touched on that. It's probably my version of this picture, which is much less resolution. Here's a much higher resolution shot. This monster was terrifying. I have no other way to put it. Very cool. They did their part. I didn't think I saw it at night, but in the day, even in daytime, dark, disturbing. I don't think you could climb light in it, but maybe I'm wrong about that. So, you sort of look at from perspective. I didn't see anyone go in and out, but it looks like now as I look at it, I'm like, could I have jumped in there? That would have been very, very cool. This was one of my favorite art cards. This image is probably not even doing it justice. Sorry, I'm jumping around. I found out later that it was Andrea Jones that helped design it. So it was a Crescent Moon, had these ridiculous projector lasers that could reach the sky, basically looked like they could reach the moon, and it blew my mind. And then they had a wild sound system on it. I actually got to I read along with it one night, and then I attended a sort of little concert. I wouldn't even say a little concert, a performance there that was dope. So this was one of the ones that really stuck out to me. I didn't quite have the image that does it in its full beautifulness, but I wanted to use images that our team had took, our camp had taken, instead of taking images from everywhere else. So if you are interested in this, check this out: Moon Art Car, Andrew Jones, Burning Man 2022. That's my best label of it. So I'm sorry if it's not good enough, but I hope you find it and worth it if you can find some other images of it. This was the piano art car. Again, not a night image of it, but at night, all these would light up and they were playing really beautiful music, which I think sort of contributes to just the beauty of this one in particular. And we were lucky. We saw it rolling out one day at night. And again, I couldn't find an image of that. Maybe it's in the photo drive now, but really, really cool one. One of my favorite art cars at Burning Man in 2022. This was an image. This is a big image of inside the Playa Alchemist temple. Apparently, I didn't see in the day, but there are a lot of people having amazing talks and conversations. Specifically seen like Aubrey Marcus and their whole crew there doing some talks, and then Vylana and some really awesome stuff, human experience. And then at night just turned into a wild dance party, one that I got to attend, which was a lot of fun. So great one there. Definitely worth checking out if you go to Burning Man. I'm sure they'll be back, and I think they had the biggest structure at Burning Man. In previous videos, I had shared a video of me rollerblading, which was one of the best moments in 2019, and then I repeated in 2022. In this case, there's an image here with a couple kids doing a little rollerblade, Black Rock roller disco, I think a staple of Burning Man. They've got hundreds of pairs of rollerblades, and people also bring their own and then do a little rip on this. The floor was surprisingly flat, surprisingly clean. It allowed you to blade, and I had some great moments. I did the day this time, where in 2019 I did night, and then I also stopped by and watched some people jamming at night, which was wonderful. So a couple of last ones here, as I see I'm getting towards the end of my links, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 all those things. But then also, don't really worry about me too much. This is just sharing my love and passion for Burning Man. You don't have to do those things if you don't want. This is my good friend Noel, who I got to spend a lot of time with at Burning Man in 2022. I love him so much, and looks like he's about to get attacked by a snake. Again, a nice little, I wouldn't say little, it's actually pretty tall if you see the scale there, but exhibit. And also, again, everything looks great at day. Everything is even, I think, sometimes more stunning at night. I'll say it reverses, though, depending on your preference and who you are. This is, as I sort of come towards the end, is the temple. And, I didn't take any images on the outside, in the inside. I don't even know. I didn't take this image, but it was in our group. And, this was just looking back at it again. You can see these messages on the wall from people who were, trying to get rid of, purge themselves of something, or maybe had lost someone in this time. And I think a lot of people, because of the gap between the last burn, had lost something. And so it was really powerful. You walk up and you can feel the energy of this place. It's almost impossible to go through, read some of the stories in there, and then not just cry and tear up. I know that was a cathartic release for me, and I wrote my own note into this. And for me, I got to see the temple burn in 2019. I didn't get to see it in 2022, but it is one of the most beautiful parts of Burning Man, one that I'm so glad is there, and I think really sort of differentiates Burning Man from maybe other sort of events like this. So I don't have too much else to say. Beautiful in the day, beautiful at night, but also haunting and striking, and emotionally impactful in both a sad way, but also a very positive way that allows you to feel like you're so glad you've made the pilgrimage to go there. And I'm thankful to have spent some time personally in there. I did it when I was by myself, because I think I wanted to spend the time in there, and it's hard to, a couple people in our group went and had a really cathartic release together, but I needed to spend that time myself and not really be on another schedule, just because it felt so important to me. So thank you to everyone who built this year. Beautiful design. 2019, both of them were absolutely stunning. 2019's layout and design of it was immaculate, but this one also spoke to me deeply. So thank you Burning Man for that experience. And then we jump back into the depths of the Thunderdome. Here you can see people climbing on it. Brennan, I think a couple people on our team, Brennan, and then we got Steph and Mel here watching, so they got to jump up and see. Amazing experience. I believe that might have been when Adam was fighting. We've seen this image before, so I don't need to do that. Another amazing, I call this a tree art piece. I'm not sure if it's a tree. I think some things are up for interpretation. I do think that's what it is, but I will bow if not. And I really like this one. I think I took a picture, and again, you can see my pictures are like low resolution, very terrible, a little bit older camera with bad light, sort of night sort of photography. So you can see my images. This one even worse, even though I don't think this was me. I think I actually had just ridden through this, and Fatzel had took this picture. I believe that's me with the fur, driven through. Beautiful experience, worth riding through on the bike, but then also you could walk right through it too. So a lot of fun there, and I think this was beautiful again in the day, but then beautiful at night. And then as I close this out, that was my last image here. I'm at 30 minutes, and I appreciate everyone who, checked this out with me, and hopefully my enthusiasm and love for this shine through, even as we get further and further away from the actual Burning Man event itself. This was a wonderful structure, and you can't really see it in this. I know this is a weird one to end up on, but basically this is another part I love about Burning Man, which is alone I, together we. Basically, it was a prompt, and people could then write their own responses. And so, there's really deep ones. Then there's obviously, maybe not as deep. I'm fart juice. But these are one of the parts of the art and sort of interactivity that I think is the most amazing part of Burning Man. So I wanted to, again, didn't really choose to end on this one, but it seems natural, and alone I, and then together we. So together we are stronger, we're more beautiful, we're more brilliant. Life is better. And I feel that way coming from Burning Man, from revisiting some of the favorite art that I had, had the privilege to see this year in 2022. And I'm glad I got to, get some images of this, get some videos, and share that with you. I appreciate, everyone again who checked this out, doing my best to sort of represent my at least personal Burning Man experience as best I can while honoring the principles of it. And I hope that you feel the same way. If you don't, please give me some feedback. Would love to hear from you. And thank you again for checking this out. This has been Tyler Bryden, looking at art at Burning Man 2022. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.